Yeah. It seems like every time I have gone and seen the Bulls play, they have one of the worst games of their season. And I'm not even exaggerating, since I have been in the Bay Area. I have gone to see the Bulls play the Warriors and Kings, and the only game I missed was the last time the Bulls beat the Warriors on the road back in 2015. Figures, I believe the Bulls have lost every other game since. Hopefully I am not a bad luck charm. Also, apologies, but I'm recording this late at night as I just got home from the game, and I'm trying to keep my voice down because my family is sleeping. Look, I figured this was going to be a tough game, and a long shot to win without Vucevic. If you caught my video from earlier today, well, yesterday by the time you're watching this, I talked about how people are going to realize that despite Vuc's struggles, how big of a loss this is going to be for the Bulls. And the reasons for that were not only his playmaking, which is lost, not only somewhat of his defense that he's been playing well, which is also lost, but more importantly, it's the fact that Vucevic, because he is another scoring threat and a guy who can spread the floor, he forces defenses to move off of Lavine and DeRozan and allows for them to get better looks. Don't get me wrong, guys, this Warriors team, give them a ton of credit. They are an incredible defensive team. Like, I knew they were good on defense this season because I follow the numbers, but this really was the first time I've watched them play closely, aside from occasionally watching them here and there, and they're just all over guys, fighting through screens, slapping the ball away from players, getting in passing lanes. They were not allowing any open looks for the Bulls tonight. It also didn't help, obviously, that the Bulls just couldn't make a shot to save their lives, but you have to give credit where it's due, and the Warriors played great defense. It also didn't help that really no one could get it going on offense for the Bulls. Lavine made headway there towards the end in the fourth quarter, but for the most part, guys were missing shots like crazy, and generally, some of the guys might have off nights here and there, but other guys step it up. But no, everyone was having an off night. I mean, it's different when you're at the game because you're not following along on the stats as much, but then when I was looking at the box score after the game, I mean, DeRozan, 4 for 13, Lonzo, 2 for 11, 1 for 7 from 3. Like, every time he put up a 3, I thought, come on, this one has to go in, especially after the ridiculous game he had against the Mavs where he was lighting it up from outside. He had 4 steals, which is nice, but 3 assists, and he wasn't doing well pushing the pace for the Bulls when they were running in transition. That's what he's there for. He's the guy that is supposed to lead the team in pushing the pace and moving the offense quickly. None of that happened tonight. And then, of course, Lavine, he actually shot the ball well, scored 23 points on 10 for 17 shooting, but he also had 7 turnovers, 5 of which came in the fourth quarter alone. And he finished minus 19, I should say, on the night from box plus minus, which was a team high. Tony Bradley, who, like we said, figured would be in the starting lineup to replace Vucevic. And as I mentioned in my video earlier about the impact on Vucevic being out, as great as Bradley has been coming off the bench and the energy he brings to that group, it's a whole other ball game going against other starting units. And Bradley did okay, but there was also a reason why Billy Donovan went with Alizé more so tonight at center over Tony Bradley. Alizé had a decent game. I mean, really, he was the only one that seemed to have some kind of energy for the most part in this one, and that's what really bothered me in this game, was the fact that the energy for the Bulls in this one was just non-existent. Maybe it was a little jet lag, maybe it was the blow of losing their starting center last minute, I don't know, but this just didn't look like the Bulls team we have been used to seeing all season. Even Caruso struggled in this game, couldn't find his shot like we saw before. Dosunmu was a little lethargic. Anyway, you get the point. It wasn't a good game. First quarter was decent, but that was really about it. I mean, let's face it, you are not going to win a game when you turn the ball over 20 times. To be honest, I was a little surprised it was that few, because watching from the stands, it just seemed like the Bulls were turning the ball over on most possessions. It actually seemed like that was the case for the Warriors as well, who ended up also turning the ball over 16 times. Like, this game as a whole was a little sloppy. But aside from the turnovers, the Bulls were out-rebounded 47-38. And again, this was supposed to be the quote-unquote easier team matchup without Vucevic anyway, because the Warriors also play small ball, and they were still getting worked on the boards. Absolutely worked. The Bulls also had 18 assists. They had more turnovers than assists in this game, which anytime you see a negative turnover to assist ratio, you know it's going to be a bad night. And of course, the Bulls didn't shoot the ball well, shooting 43% from the field, 29% from 3. Oh yeah, and also they just couldn't stop Steph Curry, which, let's be fair, a lot of teams can't. But whether it was Lonzo or Caruso or even Ayo guarding Steph, Steph was getting whatever he wanted, hitting 9 threes and putting up 40 points. Now, I know this is coming across as super negative, and really more so because I'm annoyed the Bulls had a very off night on the night that I happened to go see them play, but it is what it is. They didn't have their starting center. They played one of the best teams in the NBA. They were on the road. Like, these type of bad games are going to happen, and you can't overreact from a game like this, which I know it probably sounds like I'm doing, but no, ultimately I think the Bulls are going to be just fine. It's going to be a rough patch of games on this West Coast trip without Vucevic, don't get me wrong, but once Vucevic comes back, and who knows, we may even see Patrick Williams come back towards the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried. It's a long season, and the team is going to go through ups and downs, especially as guys are in and out of the lineup. Speaking of Patrick Williams, I did see him at the game tonight, which was surprising. I didn't know that he was going to be traveling with the team. If you were following along on my Instagram stories, you likely saw that. And also, I got to meet our very own Bulls beat writer, Casey Johnson, who was kind enough to meet with me and shoot the shit with me for a bit in the middle of the game, which was great. Casey is such a chill guy, super nice, and best of all, he said he was sitting in front of Nick Friedel at the game and was throwing little pieces of paper at him, which made me happy. Anyway, I know this is a short video, and it's because it's late. The video likely won't get that many views anyway because the Bulls got blown out, but it's on to the next. By the time you're watching this, the Bulls will be taking on the Clippers tomorrow, Sunday night, followed up with a back-to-back against the Lakers on Monday. I'll be having live chats for those games. And guys, as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.